But all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4. Strap in. This will be a good one. 2 one-loss teams getting together as they're underway on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. They go play action here on first down. And his first look is incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
Once again here on 2nd and 10. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4. Well, so much for picking it up on the ground on 3rd down. 3rd play of the drive, and this defense showing strong early.
I wonder how much of that was scouting. I wonder how much of that was a gut feeling like, okay, let's just go ahead and sell out here and get after them, thinking they're going to run the football and stuff them early, because they've now set the tone. They've set a precedent right here that if you're going to try and run the ball against us, it could be hard going throughout this game.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And it's a welcome back to health for last year's #1 pick. This is Dalvin Cook. Nigel Bradham brings him down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
On 3rd down, Cousins finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
Right. What do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snoot full, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game.
On 2nd down, Elliott. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Give him 35 yards there on the 3rd down conversion.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because you usually have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
They stay on the ground, but this time it's Elliott. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Now, that's disappointing for the defense. They had the advantage, had excellent coverage all over the field, but they let him get away, scramble, and pick up a 1st down and inside the 5-yard line.
So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. They'll try to run it in with Elliott, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle, and he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season, and the Vikings are able to strike for 6. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. Bailey now to kick this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And with a marker down, he's up just past the 25-yard line, but I think they're going to be going backwards. Let's check the call.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Yeah, this is going to put them back with not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 16. Here's Ajayi. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
So, my man, I pose this question to you. How do you get to be the number 2 defense against the rush in the NFL?
Be better than number 3, I guess.
Okay, right.
And make plays like that, right?
Well, you know, you're right. At its basic, be better than number 3, but you really nailed it. Make plays like that on a consistent basis.
Now it's Ajayi. They get 8 yards back there, and they could use another one of those now on 3rd and 7.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Cousins on 1st down. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Jordan Hicks in from his linebacker spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons. Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had
rush coming, and he's taken down. Everson Griffin. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Shotgun now for Wentz. Completes it to Aguilar. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Here we go.
On third and long, it's Wentz. And this is going to be incomplete. Trey Wayne's the Michigan State man right there in coverage.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
And now out comes Minnesota. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Play action now. Cousins. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This will be taken about the 12. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Alshon Jeffrey working his way back out there now to help lead this offense. Looking down at the stats here, realizing he has no catches. They targeted him twice, but no catches. So how do they get him more involved, Charles?
You make sure he touches it on routes that he likes to run. Maybe even run a reverse or some type of a jet sweep so he gets his hands on the ball and get him active and involved in the game. You just try and find ways to get him going, and it doesn't have to be something that's big downfield.
Maybe kind of like in basketball, just a shooter seeing the ball go through, you get him a rep. get him more comfortable.
I agree with that totally. Maybe set that solid screen and give him an easy look.
Well, to this point, no catches. Throwing now is Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
A gain of 6 there on first. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down. The false start hurts him there a bit, backs him up to 2nd and 9. From midfield, here's Wentz. Going for the deep ball, and he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Throwing is Wentz. Drops it off to Ajayi. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Another timeout called by the Vikings now, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. So make some room next to Tom Dempsey on the NFL's all-time field goal distance leaderboard. That's going to go down officially as a 63-yarder.
Let's not forget about David Akers, Jason Elam, and Sebastian Janikowski, too.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Cousins forced out to his left. Going deep for Diggs. This is intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And he will take it across midfield and down to the 45. Not the best of plays there as a quarterback. You're right-handed, rolling left, trying to throw it that far downfield.
I remember a coach of mine saying, son, that's the equivalent of trying to get the car keys out of your pocket with your opposite hand while you're trying to run. You just can't do it.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Wentz will try again on second down. He targets Jordan Matthews, and it's caught. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. The Eagles on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. From the gun, it's Wentz. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. And the kick by Elliott is good. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. They'll give to Elliott. And he's got room. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Can see this quite a bit on running plays with the guys out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right, because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coached some receivers in the offseason. We worked a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. I want to take that course.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. Rolling to his right. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That goes for a gain of 31.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10.
Let's go.
A 1st down carry by Elliott. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Back to the ground, this time Cook. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. A gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. To throw is Cousins. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Call it a pickup of 7. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football.
First down.
Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So 1st and 10 after a big mistake on 4th down with a penalty. Cook following the penalty. Cook stripped. The ball's out. And the Eagles have recovered. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. The rush defense stout on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Here we go.
They run with Ajayi. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Here we go. Back. 120. What's your son?
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. And now out comes Minnesota. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. Sliding out of the pocket. Going deep for Diggs. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Well, partner, I think the defensive fellas got the memo, and they decided to cover him on that play.
Yeah, he's already up over 100 yards in this game. They tried a deep shot, couldn't get it.
Yeah, when you've had that much success, finally someone said, let's try and put a stop to it and put people on him.
The give is to Elliott. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Open man is Thielen is complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Cousins now 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. They run it for the first time with a backup Murray. And he'll get 3 up to midfield. And 3rd quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding the clock.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, here's Cousins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Elliott. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 4th down. Cousins to throw for it on 4th. He finds Coleman. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. Now back to the ground with Elliott. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Out of the huddle now for play number 9 on this drive. This is 3rd down and 8. Throwing is Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. Here's Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The Pro Bowler Fletcher Cox there to get him down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
9 yards on the play there, and it sets them up 1st and goal. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what we said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3-and-out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Latavius Murray, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
So that one, a 13-play drive in total. And it culminates with a Latavius Murray touchdown run. Bailey now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
To throw is Wentz. And this is Ertz with it, right side. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. It's complete left side to Aguilar. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives him a first down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Hey, here we go.
On second down, here's Wentz. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
Here we go. Waiting.
Wentz now on 1st down. Ertz over the middle. That one goes for 24 yards. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. From the red zone now, Wentz. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Again, it's Wentz. A dump off to Sproles. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be 3rd down. The Eagles hustling to the line, clock rolling. Wentz looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, so they got the score. Do you go for 1 here and save the possible 2-point conversion for later?
I think you do, because if you go for 2 here and you don't get it, that's deflation.
Yeah.
Now you're wondering why you're even going for it. Take the easy one now and come back and try and get it later.
Elliott good on the extra point. So here we go. They'll need the recovery, obviously, then a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And he stopped immediately there. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. Throwing here, Cousins. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Here's Matt Weil now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. Carson Wentz, along with his offense, heading back out there for their next possession. I would imagine you want to win every game big, but if you're a quarterback in the NFL, this is the spot that you love.
You've been dreaming of it since you were a kid, playing in the backyard or the front yard, wherever, where you went through those imaginary...
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. And they were hoping to get down there, get the score, and get this thing into overtime. How deflating.
Absolutely. I mean, let's face it, heartbreaking. They had an opportunity, had a chance, and probably were feeling pretty good about what was going on, and that was taken away from them by their own mistake.
Yep, the opportunity squashed. And the Vikings now heading on to the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake. A field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. And they will take a knee here. The Eagles will take their third and final timeout as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the fourth. And they take a knee. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now third and long. On third down, Elliott. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on fourth down. Running with Elliott. And this is going to come up well short as they stop him on fourth down.